All right, good morning, everybody. We are here for the weekly Marion County Board of Commissioners board session. It's Wednesday, February 26, 2025. It's 9 a.m. and we're in the Senator hearing room at 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. If you would, please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Commissioner Cameron, would you make a motion for the amendment, please?
Sure, Madam Chair, I would move that we move I'll make a motion to move item number 7 under the Sheriff's Office, the incoming funds grant award agreement with the United States Department of Justice, from the consent agenda to the action agenda.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. We do not have anyone signed up today for public comment. Sorry, my glasses are fogging up, they're cold. So, Commissioner, would you please move the consent agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll move the consent agenda under the Board of Commissioners OLCC application recommended approval for the Hickory Spoon LLC DBA as the Hickory Spoon in Almsville, Oregon. Yeah, that's out of the golf course, I think. They're gonna
Yes.
have a new restaurant out there. Under Finance, approve an order authorizing Marion County Chief Administrative Officer to sign a license agreement with Willamette Information, News, and Entertainment Services DBA KMUZ-FM for the use of building space at 575 Trade Street, Southeast Oregon. Under Information Technology, approve amendment number 5 to the contract for services with Plant and Morin PLCC to add, what's a PLCC? Anyways, I've never heard that term before. To add $317,020 for a new contract total of $2,210,160 to provide data migration support for the Enterprise Resource Planning ERP system through December 31st, 2028. Of course it has to do with an ERP, new term. Under Public Works, approve the construction contract with Roy Hawk Construction LLC utilizing ARPA funding in the amount of $2,049,280.85 for the design and construction of intermittent safety improvements for the McKay Road Traffic Safety Improvements Project through May 30th, 2027. Also under Public Works, approve a resolution to authorize acquisition and eminent domain of certain real estate properties for permanent easements on 3 existing properties located in unincorporated Brooks community as described in Exhibits A and depicted in Exhibits B for the Brooks Hot Mirror Drinking Water Improvement Project. And last, under Public Works, receive notice of the hearings officer's decision denying conditional use case number 24-034 Jensen Living Trust.
There's actually an item under tax office.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And under tax office, approve orders for a property refund for the following tax accounts. Oregon Realtors Plaza LLC account 527870 in the amount of $23,073.38. Also, Orion Salem, Oregon LLC, account 328222 in the amount of $39,244.94. And Scenic Cold Storage LLC, account 351182 in the amount of $22,991.03. And also under the tax office, I think this might be the last one. Approve an order designating the Woodburn Independent as the newspaper for publication of the 2025 Marion County tax foreclosure list.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion?
I had too many comments in there.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and our first item under action from the Sheriff's Office, we're gonna look at an incoming funds grant award agreement with the United States Department of Justice. Commander, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jacob Ramsey with the Sheriff's Office for the record. I am here today on behalf of the Sheriff's Office to request your consideration to approve a state criminal alien assistance program award in the amount of $176,810. These funds are being awarded from the Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Assistance. The state criminal alien assistance program provides reimbursement for costs incurred when housing people in jails who have been charged with violating state laws and who also happen to be non-citizens. This grant is not related to immigration enforcement. Oregon law does not allow the county to enforce federal immigration laws, and federal law does not allow the county to obstruct federal enforcement of immigration laws. Marion County follows both state and federal law. The Sheriff's Office has already had Marion County Legal Counsel do a review of the grant award package to ensure we can accept funds while complying with both state and federal law. We will continue to involve legal counsel in reviewing all requirements and certifications as reimbursements are submitted. Would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioner, do you have any questions?
No questions.
I know Commissioner Willis, I think, was curious about this a little further. So I don't want to speak for him, but I think it's important that we have had the legal analysis and that we, like any other legal jurisdiction in the country, are navigating federal changes and in compliance with that, making sure we're following the state laws and the federal laws. And it's a very fluid space with the federal laws right now. And what's important for me as a commissioner who oversees the funds that the county collects in taxpayer dollars, general fund would have to be the bucket of money that we would use if we had not received this grant. And so this grant allows us to free up those general fund dollars to do other necessary things in our community, kind of with more of that flexible dollar. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
All right.
I was hoping I could delay long enough for you to get here in case you had any questions for the commander on the federal grant.
I don't have questions. I just wanted to make sure that the commander came and clarified what this was and what it wasn't.
Okay.
And so we reviewed this yesterday, and this is if someone is an undocumented immigrant or an illegal immigrant here and they commit a crime, we want to make sure that they get put in our jail for committing that crime. And the federal government's willing to pay us to do that. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
a good thing.
Yes. Okay. Great. Thank you. And I know you just got here, so Commissioner Cameron, would you make the motion so he can get settled, and then I'll have him do the
Sure.
rest of the agenda?
Madam Chair, I'll move that we approve the incoming funds grant award agreement with the United States Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Assistance in the amount of $176,810 for the fiscal year 2024 State Criminal Alien Assistance Program through December 31st, 2025.
I second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes. Thanks for coming down here today.
Thank you,
Nice to see you.
Commissioners. Have a great day.
All right. Now we're going to move to the Health and Human Services Department. Ryan is going to come up and talk to us about amendment number 16 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with Oregon Health Authority.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Ryan Matthews, Administrator with Marion County Health and Human Services, and I am here seeking approval of Amendment 16 with our intergovernmental agreement with Oregon Health Authority, and this is for our role as the local public health authority for Marion County. This amendment, it's adding $495,964.99, and it's doing that really through two primary adjustments to the contract. The first is that it includes carryover of a little over $199,000 of tobacco prevention and education program dollars. These were funds that were awarded last fiscal year and were not spent. We have a full biennium to utilize them, and so the way it kind of works, it's sort of an accounting situation where they de-obligate those funds in the prior fiscal year and then reissue them in an amendment for the current year so that we can utilize them. And so, because the Oregon Health Authority, even though they operate under biennium authority that's given to them through appropriations by the legislature, they contract with us for each individual fiscal year. So it's always a little bit awkward just in terms of that process. The other addition to this contract is $297,550 in Program Element 80, which is a new program element for us. These are funds that the state had initially opened up for RFP to provide to community-based organizations across the state. Marion County was one of the particular counties that didn't get a lot of applications to Oregon Health Authority, and so there were excess funds, and they reached out to the individual counties that didn't necessarily utilize the full allocation through the Oregon Health Authority solicitation process, and they wanted to hope to award those to the local counties so that our partnerships and our relationships might make it easier for us to find organizations that would participate. What these funds are aimed to do is to basically have organizations these are nonprofit organizations that support our community, have them build capacity for emergency preparedness and response, build up resiliency, and be able to adapt during extreme events such as extreme heat, poor air quality due to wildfire smoke, things of that nature. So what we are hoping to utilize these funds for is to open up a request for proposal projects, basically a grant application project where entities can submit a grant for anywhere from $500 to $25,000, somewhere in that range, depending on what their need is. And then hopefully we can, go through a review process, and if we have a valid applicant, we can award these funds to them to help kind of build up that resiliency as an organization. So they'll be here to support our community when the time comes. As we know, these emergency situations do pop up from time to time, and so I think it's important to us to make sure that we get these dollars out to our community so that they can benefit from it. I don't know if there's any questions anybody has about that.
Commissioners?
Maybe just a comment. We talked a little bit about this, and it's possible that other counties may have a different way that they distribute this money than we do. So I'm okay with accepting this so long as we distribute this money according to our mission, our values, excuse me, and the way that we do business here in Marion County.
Sounds good.
Great. All right, would you make a motion?
Sure. Madam Chair, I move that we approve amendment number 16, the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to add $495,964.99 for a new contract total of $17,243,683.56 for the operation of public health services retroactive to December 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Commissioner.
Ryan.
Thanks,
Have a
Ryan.
great day. All right, Terry, you're gonna join her? Oh, or others. Come, I see people moving. We're gonna learn about Prime Plus and a contract today. Hi,
Good morning.
good morning.
Yep, I'll go first.
So be sure to introduce yourself for the record and talk into the microphone.
My name is Jason Wilburn, Clinical Supervisor for Marion County Addiction Treatment Services.
Nice to see you, Jason.
My name is Sean Boson. I'm one of our recovery mentors for Marion County Addiction Treatment Services.
So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the topic first, and then they will go ahead and do the presentation.
Just be sure to introduce yourself.
Will do. Good morning, Commissioners. Carol Hurd with Marion County Health and Human Services, Addiction Treatment Services. And I am here today seeking approval of a retroactive intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority and receipt of incoming funds in the amount of $840,135 for the 3-year period beginning September 30th, 2024 through September 29th, 2027. These funds are from the State Opioid Response Grant, which funds the Prime Plus program or peer recovery initiated in medical establishments plus infectious disease testing and linkage to care for health issues related to substance use. Marion County was an early adopter of this program and the first county to receive funding to provide this service in 2019. Since then, this program is now available in 24 of the 36 Oregon counties. Of the various services provided through this program, they also respond to overdose calls from the hospitals on a 24/7 basis and meet with individuals at the hospital to provide connection to resources, recovery support, and to SUD treatment services. And then we have Jason Wilburn and Sean Boson here to talk more about what the services provided in this program are.
Thank you, Carol. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, everyone.
I know, sorry.
Sorry,
People
I'm not-
on TV want to hear you too.
Yeah, I'm not used to the microphone. Good morning, everyone. Commissioners, my name is Jason Wilburn. What we did today, we are going to present a brief presentation on Prime, just so we can go into full detail so everybody understands the significance and the importance of the Prime program and the work we do in the community. Is that close? Is that good?
We can hear you, we just want, if
Okay.
they can't hear you online, then they open the door,
Gotcha.
point at me, and then, you know, I have to interrupt you.
All right, thank you. So first and foremost, Prime Plus program, which we promote any positive change with the individuals we serve in our community. As Carol had said, Prime Plus is staffed with 58 peers across the state. It's currently in 24 different counties, and there's 19 organizations that are connected through the Prime Plus program that provide these services. And they've split the state into 3 different identified regions, north, south, and east. So PRIME stands for Peer Recovery Initiated in Medical Establishments. So the first thing is what we actually provide. Substance use disorder prevention services and education in both Spanish and English. So we have a team of 9 certified recovery mentors, 3 of which are bilingual, so we can make sure we're meeting the community's needs in our rural communities and inner city. One of the things we also provide is linkage to testing and treatment for infectious diseases. So that will be individuals that we serve that come into the Prime Plus program, whether it's through local medical establishments or that we meet out in the community doing outreach. So not only are we providing those peer services, but we are trying to get them connected to testing and then treatment for any infectious diseases. We currently partner with the OHSU PATHS program. So any individuals that we help get tested that return positive or with a viral bearing load, we connect them with OHSU through a telemedicine appointment, and within 4 appointments we can get them cured of their Hep C. Also 24/7 overdose response currently with Salem Health and Santiam Hospital and Clinics. We're currently, earlier this month, I went and met with Legacy in Silverton with some of their staff and did a presentation on Prime Plus, and we're just pending a partnership with them based on administrative approval. And our Prime Plus peers are trained to work in medical establishments alongside and in collaboration with medical teams and medical professionals. They are all in long-term recovery, and they are credentialed by the state through MACBO, Mental Health Addiction Counseling Board of Oregon. So 3 core elements that I wanted to share with you guys today. The first one, we prioritize Prime Plus peer work within and alongside medical establishments, first responders, i.e. hospitals, urgent care clinics. Fostering relationships with community partners to develop bidirectional referral pathways for SUD and infectious disease treatment. So really working with our community partners to be able to receive these referrals and connect these individuals in our community to services. And then the big one, we're really looking to facilitate any positive change while respecting people's autonomy in a client-centered, strength-based approach. And then we outlined just a few of the referral pathways that we have created through partnerships with our community partners. So a few of the examples, like I had mentioned, hospitals, ED departments, EMS, coordinated care organizations, and other substance abuse treatment programs. So the criteria for individuals in our community is pretty simplistic. Individuals enrolled in Prime Plus services do not need Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. Since this is a grant-funded program, anybody is eligible to enter as long as they have a history of a substance use disorder because of the grant this is based on. We can work with individuals that have a co-occurring. So if they have a mental health diagnosis along with substance use, we can absolutely provide services, but they have to have at least some experience with the substance use disorder. And then the individuals agree to engage with Prime Plus staff for services before a referral call is made. So that is primarily for the emergency departments, right? We want to make sure that if someone has experienced a recent overdose and that has been reversed, that we're being trauma informed and they know we're coming to see them and talk to them. And then verbally consent to Prime Plus services. Mr. Boson here is one of our experienced certified recovery mentors that has a lot of experience responding to hospital calls, and that's a very precarious and emotional situation for somebody. So we want to make sure that we're being trauma informed and we're there to support them through that and offer services. This is just a little list of some of the things that we do after responding to the hospital or a community referral. Engage them in Prime Plus services, offer them that peer support. So acquiring OHP, transportation, a big one, primary care services, because we know that often people that struggle with substance use disorders use the EDs as a primary care and sometimes struggle with, you know, the follow-up care to actually address those medical issues that they might be coping with substances. So housing, shelter, employment, and then a long litany of really whatever they need to do and what their identified goal is, we help them support in achieving those goals. I compiled some data. So in 2024, we had just overdose response calls between Salem Health and Santiam Hospital. We responded to 118 total calls. 5% of those calls were already, when we responded to the scene, they were connected with SUD treatment through other community providers, so we still foster that connection back to their current service provider. So it's not just about bringing them into our services. We want any positive change, right? So if they were connected with Bridgeway, we're gonna help foster that and reconnect them back to Bridgeway. If they were with Ideal Options, we're gonna help foster that connection.
So you're specifically speaking about addiction treatments?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. 15%, we help facilitate and connect to SUD treatment only. Another 14% of them wanted Prime Plus services only, and then 14% of them wanted both services. The reason that is because there's some SUD providers in the community that don't offer peer support services. So we want to be able to foster that connection to treatment and then still be able to offer those services. And then 50.84% declined all services.
Do you have data, and I know you can't answer this today, but I'm curious about what the recidivism is for that 50%. How many times do you serve the same individual in a year or in a period? If you could look that up and send that to me, I'd be really interested
We have
in
that.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks.
And then, as I said, a little bit over half declined all services. That can be for a litany of different reasons.
Yeah.
When responding, you know, it's a highly emotional situation and maybe there's shame, guilt, or they're just not ready for treatment services or peer support help.
Is there any, when they decline on site, which I get for all the reasons you just described, do you follow up?
We do.
How often, and not how often, but like how soon after the visit, and then do you repeat that?
So initially, when our staff respond to the hospitals, right, we are giving them prevention services. If it's an opiate overdose, right, we're teaching them how to utilize Narcan, giving them wound care kits. If they decline all services, we are reconnecting with them within 24 to 48 hours. And often we have had people that were in the moment maybe decline, but with staff follow-up to give them, you know, a couple days to maybe process their situation, they do engage.
Carol, do you have that same data on sheltered versus unsheltered for that same 50% population?
Is that on our spreadsheet?
If it's not, I would love for you to start collecting it.
Okay,
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah, and then I'm also gonna always ask about zip codes. We serve a very big county.
We actually do, because when we do our initial contact sheets, and all that demographic information is tracked on there, and we save those in a file.
Okay.
So I might be able to pull some of that for you.
That'd be great.
We
So
might be
it's
able
not
to.
on the spreadsheet necessarily, but
No.
it is available on
Yes.
that contact sheet?
Yes.
Okay.
I bet you'll be adding it to the spreadsheet.
I
going
will,
forward.
I will be, yes, I will.
Thank you.
Another big piece of what we do with Prime Plus is Narcan trainings for anybody in the community. So in 2024 total, we trained 362 individuals in our community of how to utilize Narcan and administer Narcan. 13 external agencies, so community partners. We provided Narcan trainings for Chemeketa Community College, Center for Hope and Safety, some charter schools in the Woodburn School District, adult foster homes, so the list goes on and on. All they have to do is reach out, and we have a team of certified Narcan trainers that we provide that training. And that was a total, those 13 agencies, that was 132 individuals. And then our internal staff with Marion County, we've trained 230 and issued a total of 580 units of Narcan. And another big piece is the outreach we do in the community. This is either county-wide events or some of the fixed site outreach that we do at Oak Park Church or Grace Church, so it's specific locations. During that outreach, we've distributed 492 total units of Narcan and served over 1,307 individuals in our community through our outreach. And then a couple of events we have for 2025. As I said, on February 3rd, I went and met with Legacy Silverton Medical Center, did the Prime Plus presentation. They had all sorts of great questions and interests, but they are going to take that information to their administration and either respond to us via email for the partnership, or they might request me to do another presentation for their administration. And then on March 12th, we are going to have the opportunity to present Prime Plus services with the Ambulance Services Area Advisory Committee. This is really going to be important, and it's an exciting opportunity just to fill that gap between individuals where EMS and fire arrives and maybe reverses the overdose, or they have some SUD-related medical issues, but they deny the follow-up care to the hospitals. So for us to be able to respond to those will fill a significant gap for our community. And then on April 17th, Prime Plus, in partnership with the City of Woodburn and Marion County's Youth Prevention, we are hosting and providing a Spanish-specific Narcan training, education and administration training for all the parents that have at-risk youth in Woodburn. So all parents are invited to attend, and this will be in person, and there will be a Zoom link for people that wish to attend. And I couldn't close this without showing a picture of our staff. These are the ones that respond to the phone calls at 2 a.m, that go to the hospitals, that are in our community, that are working with individuals to try to change their lives. And really, everything we do is a testament to our staff. Any questions?
I don't have any questions. Sean, you're here. You want to?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Hold on.
Feels like you should use that microphone and share some things.
Sure.
Well, good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. Once again, Sean Boson with Marion County Addiction Treatment Services. I mean, that Jason pretty much kind of covered everything on that Prime Plus program, but what I can say is, you know, there's a lot of individuals out there that just kind of need a hand up,
Yeah.
you know, and that's really what we're trying to help provide, you know, and help educate with some prevention tools and things like that. The experiences that I've personally had with the hospital phone calls when I've responded, we don't get everyone who wants to get connected, but the ones that do, we're providing an opportunity for them to change their lives, or providing an opportunity for them to have an opportunity to change. And that's what we do try to provide. We do try to connect with multiple services within our county and within our region. You know, we've had quite a few successes, you know, and it's great to kind of be a part of that, to see that growth and that change, you know, for an opportunity. You know, one particular individual I was called out about a year ago, and it was, I don't know, mid-morning, something like that, and it was for an individual who was about 11 weeks pregnant, and she was there for extreme withdrawals from fentanyl use. And I was there for a couple hours with her. Her family came, and this individual, we ended up getting connected. She was absolutely willing to sign up for the Prime program and get connected to services. We got her connected with local detox within the region. We got transportation provided, and then door-to-door services into with her place residential with our program, and with our medically assisted treatment program as well. And what I can tell you today is that she's still engaged with our program, and I see her in our lobby probably about once a month with the beautiful baby, and she tries to thank me for that, and I thank her for that.
Yeah.
Because she's the one that wanted to put the effort in. I just told her, I said, I was just the one with the phone call that day. You know, I'm just the one that provided those opportunities. You're the one doing the work. And it's just stories like that is why we want to keep doing what we do. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any other questions.
Well, I'm very familiar with this program, the work that you do. I also know that even though you're in Conversations with Legacy, you still respond out there. I had a conversation with Sarah from Sheltering Silverton not long ago.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that we don't have the contract. We go when the call is made. And this is a program that I think is obviously changing people's lives, but
Yeah.
it's fair for you to thank her for the work she's doing because it is a tremendous uphill battle when you're navigating recovery. And it also is a tremendous commitment to be in this space with an individual or individuals who are experiencing such hardship and turmoil, and to really see them as they are. And you obviously do a good job of that, and so do your peers, which is why we have such a great success rate. So thanks for saying yes to the job and doing it so well. Not everybody can do it.
I couldn't. But that story, I just got a little teary-eyed because I was thinking of that baby, right? Not only did she put in the effort to change her life, but hopefully it'll change that child's life too for that interaction that you've had. And that's how you break a cycle. That's how you change the world one person at a time. Yeah, thank you.
Yesterday, I won't say her name, but yesterday, a community member posted on a social media thread here in Salem that is a former client of the Prime Plus program. I met her in 2022 when she was living in Wallace Park, and she was pregnant, and she was navigating a lot of challenges plus her addiction, and she accepted a friendship with myself and Christine Sommers at the Marion County Housing Authority. And since that first conversation, she's been able to have a very healthy baby, have secure, stable housing, and yesterday she received her CADC2 certification.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a huge deal to be on a track moving forward, regardless of where you're starting or what your challenges are. And I'm excited and so proud of the people willing to champion themselves and talk about their accomplishments. You know, we give people accolades when they graduate high school, right? They spent 12 years trying to figure that out. I think it's okay to give people accolades when they also achieve these major milestones, regardless of where they started.
Well, I think most people now know how powerful these drugs are, how powerful fentanyl is. It's always inspiring to me when I see that somebody's love for their child is more powerful than the most powerful drugs. I think that's really something, so.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And I love that we have places for babies.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for being here. Thank you, Carol
Thank you.
and Terry. Yeah, all right. Commissioner Cameron, would you make a motion, please?
I would love to. Madam Chair, I'll move that we approve the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority in the amount of $849,135 for the Prime Plus program, retroactive to September 30th, 2024 through September 29th, 2027.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Have a great day. All right, the rest of the morning is Public Works. Austin, I feel like maybe we probably should have had Stephanie go first since you're three of the four activities. All right, come tell us about the adoption of administrative ordinance granting zone change, case number 24-005.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Austin Barnes, Marion County Planning Department. Before I get into this, if you guys have not already, I don't know if Cody or Steve gave this. They got it, the options? Yes. Perfect. Beautiful. Then we've got the options before you for making motions.
Yes. Thank you. It's the second.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so today we are here to consider adoption of an administrative ordinance granting zone change ZC 24-005 for Bill Stanley and Don Edwards. So the Marion County Hearings Officer held a duly noticed public hearing on November 7th, 2024, and issued a decision on January 14th, 2025, approving zone change 24-005. The board received the decision and held the application for the mandatory appeal period, and no appeals were received. The ordinance and findings have been prepared, and notice of adoption was given February 19th, 2025. The administrative ordinance is now set for final consideration and adoption. The zone is changing from urban development to multifamily and will match the underlying existing multifamily plan designation. Unless there is no appeal, the zoning code provides that the board does not have to hold a hearing on this request because it is for a zone change only. The comprehensive plan isn't changing. And with that, I will answer any questions that you have.
Can you tell us where it is, what we're talking about?
Yeah, so this is on Blueberry Lane, over not too far from Public Works off of Silverton Road. And so Blueberry Lane is a private road that comes off, I believe it's 45th Avenue that intersects into Silverton Road. And so it's a little private lane that's got about 4 or 6 duplexes already on it, and then a single-family dwelling. And so this is the vacant lot at the end of the street. And so the owner came in and wanted to develop the lot with more multifamily that is just like what is on the street. And so to do that, he had to do a zone change to get it to multifamily, which matches what Salem has underneath in their comp plan. So this is a zone change to go to multifamily, and they would like to do townhomes there and develop those and get some housing into our community.
And it appears that there's apartments both to the north and to the south of this property.
That's correct.
Okay, great. Okay,
Good.
I'm good.
all right, Commissioner Willis.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve an ordinance granting zone change 24-005, Bill Stanley on behalf of Don Edwards.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. Now we're gonna, what are we gonna do? 237 acres in Woodburn.
Yes.
All right.
So adopting another ordinance, so this one would be for the Woodburn UGB amendment. And so on October 28th, 2024, Woodburn held a public hearing to consider a 237-acre amendment to its urban growth boundary for industrial lands. In November, the city submitted its adopting ordinance with a letter requesting the county concur. On December 18th, 2024, the Marion County Board of Commissioners approved a resolution initiating amendments to the county comprehensive plan to consider concurring in the city's amendment and scheduled a public hearing for January 29th, 2025. On January 29th, the board held a hearing and after considering the evidence in the record, concurred in the city's amendment, directing staff to return with an ordinance consistent with their decision. On February 19th, 2025, the board scheduled adoption of the ordinance at the next regular board section. Now the board must consider adopting the ordinance. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But this is the large industrial swath of land to the south of Woodburn in their urban reserve.
I don't have any questions. I feel like, what is it, 20 years they've been trying to get here?
Correct.
Confetti should fall out of the sky when someone makes this motion.
I'll bring a confetti
Well-
gun next time.
Sorry, Brenda, in advance if he really does that.
Well,
And that would be fun.
This is plus 20 years because they got their big one done after 20 years. This is some of the reserves that they had to have.
Okay.
So this is an extension of that process, so.
It's
good.
been marinating and aging well.
Exactly, exactly. Madam Chair, I'll move that we adopt the adoption of an administrative ordinance amending the Marion County Comprehensive Plan by adopting 237-acre amendment to the City of Woodburn urban growth boundary for industrial land and rezoning.
I second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Thanks.
Thank
And
you,
we'll see you back in a minute. All right, Stephanie and Ryan. We're gonna hear about a DEQ grant, looks like.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
I am Stephanie Pulvers with Public Works. I'm the Stormwater Program Supervisor.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ryan Wade, Marion County Public Works, Environmental Compliance Specialist.
So they brought this to you all last week at Management Update, so we're just here to kind of follow up. And basically what we're looking for the grant for is to update our Stormwater Master Plan from 2006. So almost 20 years have passed. A lot has changed in 20 years. That original plan was actually really great, and reading through it, it's informed a lot of the way that we do maintenance, a lot of our infrastructure improvements over the years. But in those last 20 years, obviously development has occurred, and then permit requirements have changed, which have required standards to change. And we've actually added a lot of those smaller detention basins throughout the East Salem area. So those little planter boxes are actually helping detain water to prevent flooding. And so our assumption is that the plan should change too, because the original one didn't have all that taken into consideration. And so we want to ensure that our maintenance efforts and our capital improvement efforts are valid and efficient and all of that. And so we're looking to update that plan. And with that, I'm going to let Ryan talk a little bit more about the grant.
Good morning. So we're looking at approval to submit an application for the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality Sewer Overflow and Stormwater Reuse Municipal Grant. It is a federal grant that's passed down to DEQ to distribute to municipalities. Like Stephanie said, we're hoping to use this funding to update our East Salem Service District Stormwater Master Plan. Since our management update, a consultant has got back with an updated cost estimate, and it came in at that $500,000 that we were expecting. And I can, this grant is a maximum of 20% match with the opportunity to lower that based on if this project impacts a EPA disadvantaged community. And we can answer any questions.
Thanks, Ryan. So help me understand what you just said about
Yeah.
a consultant, because right now we're talking about approving a grant application, which is different than us approving an expenditure with a consultant. So can you unpack that a little for me?
Yeah, we just reached out to ask roughly what that would cost.
But you still need to do an RFP?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
We don't even have this is just to apply for the grant, so we don't even have the funding. It was just more or less to get an estimate of, is this gonna be $100,000, is this gonna be $1 million, we didn't
Okay.
really know what a,
Essentially, you're like, hey, this is what we're looking to do.
Mhm.
What would you charge if you were
Yeah.
doing it? Now you can apply for the grant because you're informed with that
Yes.
level of information.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Willis?
Just gonna say what I said before, which is if the grant has strings that require us to do things that harm our community, I'm happy to pay this money back
Awesome.
and say, no thanks. So I'm okay with you moving forward, but I'm looking to see what they come back with.
Yeah,
Definitely.
okay. Anything to add, Commissioner Cameron?
Yeah, just a question, and Ryan, maybe you have the answer to this, I'm not sure. Would this plan be for, because it says it's for sewer overflow and stormwater reuse. So does it look at the entire county, or is it just inside the urban growth boundary where we have designated stormwater areas?
Yes, so it would be in kind of the East Salem Service District, which matches our
so we
designated
have
stormwater.
our DEQ MS4 area, municipal separate storm sewer system.
Right.
Yeah.
Area, which is mostly East Salem. It expands out a little bit.
Out south a
It
little
hits
bit,
like
yeah.
out south,
Yeah.
a little bit around Kaiser. But the original plan was just for the East Salem Service District, so it's just those two chunks of East Salem.
So this will expand it to the newer areas that have been added in the last, whatever, since I've been here. I think they
Yes.
added south and,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
hopefully. I mean, that's the plan.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
Well, kind of so this is just for the grant, I understand it. But what is this plan gonna look at? Is it gonna look at potentially having us to expand some of that area?
No. That area only expands when, with census and when DEQ tells us we have to expand it. So it's not going to be to expand the area. So the 2006 study did a full assessment of all of our infrastructure, all of our stormwater infrastructure, and then a bunch of hydraulic modeling to tell us how to best manage all that water and prevent flooding. So, and then it came with infrastructure improvement recommendations. It came with maintenance recommendations. The big thing is that it had some detention recommendations that we're not sure are still valid. It's kind of been a goal to move towards those, but before we spend the money on that, on
Check.
putting those in, we want to make sure that that's still necessary with all of the upgrades we've made in the past 19 years. So, so that's kind of what we're looking at getting with this new plan. It's just an updated.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Take a
Madam Chair.
motion.
Okay, Madam Chair, I move that we approve Chair Bethel DeSign and Marion County Public Works to submit a county application for grant funding from the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ Sewer Overflow and Stormwater Reuse Municipal Grant Program for updates to the East Salem Service District Stormwater Master Plan.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Thank you both.
Awesome. Thank
Have a
you,
great day.
Commissioners.
All right, I'm going to pause the board meeting and open a public hearing to consider zone change, comprehensive plan change, case number 24-004, Woodbury Properties LLC. The board has reviewed these documents contained in the record and has had no ex parte communications regarding this matter unless specifically disclosed. If there are any objections to notice, jurisdiction, or conflicts of interest, the parties can raise them during testimony. Planning staff will list the applicable criteria for the application. Testimony and evidence must be directed towards the applicable criteria. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence may preclude appeal on that issue. Austin,
Glad that's an orange.
you're welcome.
Good morning again, Commissioners. For the record, Austin Barnes, Marion County Planning Department. So today we are holding a public hearing for the zone change and comprehensive plan change 24-004 Woodbury Properties. Before I summarize the material in the file and the staff report, I wanted to go over the criteria that are pertinent to this decision. So those criteria are the Marion County Code Section 17-128, which is the acreage residential zone, Section 17.164, the unincorporated community industrial zone, the Section 17.123 zone change procedures, and various sections of the Marion County Comprehensive Plan, which are rural development, rural industrial development, development limitations, transportation system management, development and access, the Brooks Hot Mirror Community Plan, and then finally the Oregon statewide planning goals. So this is a request to change the zone from acreage residential to IUC, which is unincorporated community industrial, which is the industrial zone that we apply to our unincorporated communities, which this is in Brooks Hot Mirror. And they wanted to also change the comprehensive plan designation from rural residential to industrial, and this is on a 0.39 acre parcel located at 9035 River Road Northeast, Kaiser, and this is on just about the far western edge of Brooks Hot Mirror at the intersection of Brook Lake Road and River Road. The Marion County's hearings officer held a duly noticed application, or a duly noticed public hearing on October 3rd, 2024, and on January 13th, 2025, issued a recommendation to approve the zone change. The hearings officer found that the applicant had met all applicable criteria for the comprehensive plan amendment and the zone change. Staff concurs with the hearings officer's recommendation. The applicant addressed all the applicable criteria, which include those which I summarized. The parcel was sort of the last residential parcel in an area surrounded by other commercial and industrial parcels. So this is going to be more congruent with the land use in the area. They don't propose a very specific use, but it will be some sort of warehousing or storage with it, which is consistent with the other uses in the area. There's other warehousing, storage, and trucking businesses surrounding this. And they also propose a low water intensity use, as the parcel is not served by the Brooks Hot Mirror water system, but there is a well that can serve it with water.
There's a well what?
A well that can serve the parcel with
Can
water.
serve it, okay.
Yes. So all in all, staff thought this was a good application, a good zone change. All the criteria were addressed. There weren't issues related to traffic or utilities or other issues. There was not any public comment or any concerns from the public that were raised. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions, or also have the applicant representative, Steve, is also here and could speak in more detail about the application if you guys so wish.
Thanks, Austin. Do you have any questions for Austin? All right. Go ahead and come forward.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Steve Kay, Cascadia Planning and Development Services, and I'm representing the applicant. My address is P.O. Box 1920 in Silverton. As discussed in the staff report, the property has been vacant since 2020. There was a previous home that was removed from the site. The property is located in an area that has active industrial and commercial uses which are directly adjacent to it. Therefore, when considering that this property is less than a half acre, it's currently covered with a gravel surface and it's surrounded by existing businesses. The parcel really isn't well suited for the development of a new single-family residence. The applicant also owns an adjacent industrial parcel to the west and a commercial zone parcel to the south of the site. A storage use with no utility needs is currently being considered for the subject property. However, if utility services are required or desired at some point in the future, water service could be extended from the well on the adjacent property, and septic service can be provided by a holding tank on the site. We feel that the submitted application materials demonstrate how the proposed comprehensive plan amendment and zone change meet the criteria for approval. The applicant agrees with the hearings officer's findings and has no concerns regarding the conditions of approval. So with that, we thank you for your consideration. I'm available to answer your questions.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
I do not.
I don't. I mean, this looks like it shouldn't be zoned the way it is, so I support the change.
Yeah, we trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure out exactly where it was in my mind, but Google Earth helps better. It's like right past the market,
Yes,
essentially.
just north of it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, is there anything else? Okay, thank you for being here. Thanks, Austin.
Thank you.
I'm going to close the public hearing and,
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I would move that we approve the application for zone change, comprehensive plan change ZCCP 24-004 Woodry Properties.
I'll second the motion.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks for bringing the
Commissioners.
easy ones.
Of course.
All right, is there anything else for the record, Commissioners?
No?
No? All right, we're adjourned. Have a great day, everyone.